If we got a sound, if we can have a sound file with like the whole
It says it's
whole
gone live stream now.
nice. If only we could have like the the movie screen the whole sound bite from way back when. If we got a sound, if we can have a sound file with like the whole
Okay, here we go. Thank you, George. And may I say welcome.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, great.
Yeah, just wanted to introduce George. The way I met up with George was there was an Amiga 2000 online for sale. I reached out to the person that was selling it and met up with him to, as usual, I usually ask, like, how did you get your hands on something like that? And then he told me he bought it back in the day. And then he told me he was the one that used to organize Computer Fest shows back in the day as well. And I was pleasantly surprised. And then 2 hours later, I had to leave George with the 2000. And now I have the great pleasure of introducing George as our guest speaker today.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
What do I have to do? Click on anything to get the screen, or is it just records?
It's being live streamed on YouTube, and if memory serves, it'll record on YouTube, if I remember right. I
Okay.
hope that's the way it works. That used to be the way it worked.
I don't think you have to do anything, George. You just
Yep.
you're good.
Okay.
We can see you and we can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, because I can see you full screen. Can you see me when I'm talking full screen as well?
No, maybe on the view, if you go up on the top right, there's a view. You can put it looks like a waffle view, and you can see everybody instead of just seeing one person.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
So I don't know if you want to tell us how you started with Computer Fest, George, and then we could go from there.
Sure. Okay, all right. Well, I also have a few things to show.
By all means.
All right. I guess everything I've done is kind of a stepping stone to get to a certain point. I started out, I have an MBA from U of T in 1970, and I never really worked for anyone else. I always did my own things. I started a show in 1976, which was the first show I did was at the Sheraton Center. This is a franchise show in Vancouver. So I started at Sheraton Center in Toronto and did over an 11-week period in one fall season, did 10 shows with just the Thanksgiving weekend we had off. And, you know, it sort of, I enjoyed the creation part that you would organize something and it would just, you know, you would put all the pieces together on a Thursday or Friday, would come to life, and on a Sunday night it would be a pack-up time. And but it was fine. It was just really exciting to be part of things like that. The next thing I did was I was involved with a friend from the MBA program in this show in New York, which was it's a science fiction occult fair. And our main speaker, some people may recognize him, is Alan Hynek. He was the main speaker at that event.
Hey, Alan Hynek, the UFO gentleman?
Yes, the sci-fi.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Then from there, in 1978, I started I got into the video business, and I was a neighbor of Joe from Comspec, and we started a company called Videoland, where we sold video machines from the Quasar to the Beta 1, and was there for a few years, but when it became just that people wanted to rent the latest Charles Bronson killer movie and so on, I got fed up with all that. It was great to know the technology and being able to advise. We had a store, the store here, 938 Wilson, which was close to Comspec. We had another store at 1158 the Queensway. And we started to transition, from the computer industry. We got, well, first of all, at 938 Wilson Avenue, we had a friend in Hamilton who was in the audio video business, and he got his hands on the Atari 2600. That was a very hot game, and he needed a location in Toronto. So I said, fine, you can use our location. I believe it was on a Sunday. We must have had 300 people in line for this. Of course, we were not authorized. I'm not sure if he was, but I think he got them from the States, but he sold them at a great price, and just shows you, I guess, what a hot item and a great price do. And, that's part of the excitement of these events. The next step in this was at the Queensway, we had a customer who worked for a publishing company. Well, I think we got the Atari STs to sell at that point from the Queensway. And we had changed from Videoland to Computer Software Plus, I believe it was. And then we had a customer who worked for Holt Reinhardt, and they distributed CBS software. And, we're talking about the industry, and she said, would you be interested in, in some software, CBS? We're getting rid of the CBS software line. I believe this was 83, 84 when they were distributing it. And I said, sure. So she said, you want to make a bid? I said, okay. And she gave me a list. And I think I bid a little high, and she came back to me and she said, no, it's still a bit too high. So fine, we went with a lower price. I didn't realize they had like 4 truckloads of this stuff. So the first truckload, of course, the store, we had no space anywhere. That was all taken up with this. And, had to be creative and find a way to sell it. So I started looking around, and, there was a computer and education show. This is probably one of the first shows that I had gone to. It may have been Moorehead. This is from 1985. And but again, this is computer solutions for business. And, we were not looking so much for business. We were looking more for average consumers. But they had on the inside is a Commodore ad for, what does it say? Commodore sells only the best, and only the best sell Commodore. And they were, I believe, at the Arts and Crafts building. This was sort of the show, small show, but geared to business. And at the back of this was Atari as well. So, we sold some at a computers and education show, and I thought there's got to be a better way. So I called the Lions Club on the Queensway and asked them if it was available, and I chose the Thanksgiving weekend. Probably should have picked another weekend, but it was, we thought, because the stores would be closed on a Sunday and Monday. I can't remember if we had 8 or 10 different people, and we were selling the software. That's how Computer Fest got started. I started the show to find a solution for what we're doing, and trying to move some software. and my dad was the one person who really helped me. I had, when I was in the video business, I started a magazine called Video Mania that my brother had taken over. And if any of you guys have gone to Famous Players or Cineplex in the last 20 years, he was the publisher of the Focus magazine. He took the Video Mania magazine and made it into a trade magazine. He did very well. He was with Cineplex, and so that was, and he knew Eric McMillan and Dave Carter from Toronto Computes, who at the time I tried to get them involved, but they were not interested. They were just starting out themselves as an insert in a magazine, I think called Context, or like a weekly magazine. This is our first, this is in '86, the second year, and our first show guide. And I was just looking at it a few minutes ago, and you guys are in here as one of the clubs. So we have a long history together. Can you see that? Can you guys see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not very clear, George. Is it you trying to show us that there's TPUG in there?
Yes.
On the right-hand side, second
Yeah.
one down.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, I see it now, yeah.
Yeah, this is from 1986. And we did our first show, we couldn't really get anything. So this was at the King Street Antique Market. We did the show in that facility. Was it one day? Yeah, it was just a Saturday, October 18th. So it was approximately a year after I had done the first show. And we had, exhibitors. We had Computer Express, Mike, and then we got to know a lot of people. We also, the world of Commodore, we were sort of competitors, but we were also friendly competitors with Hunter Group. We also had, let me see, Video Variables, and there were quite a few Commodore exhibitors, as Commodore was one of the mainstays of that. We decided early on to sort of make it as the show for the average user. So this is from 91. Oh, sorry, 87. This is from 87. There were some other shows. This was from. I was the one who went to probably 200 or 300 shows over the period of time. We're just trying to see what people did and what we learned from other people. We incorporated things in our shows. This is a show guide from the world of Amiga in 1990, sorry. At that time when we were selling the Atari, and we also started selling Amstrad and this is from the Amstrad days. I mean, it's hard to believe that computers were so expensive. A 2 floppy machine was $2,500. Like this kind of machine with 2 floppies, no hard drives, was $2,500. And we felt so good that we could get a card for it, like for 10 megabytes for 300 as a card you can put in for as a hard drive. Let me see. Yeah, the show kind of evolved over years, and I said, here I have a few. Let me show you this.
Well, I wanted to ask George, how many years did Computer Fest run for? It started in '86, you said, right?
85 for 20 years.
20 years, wow. Okay.
Yeah, this was the a computer show for all of us. And you can see, unfortunately, there was no one of color in this. Those were the days, but we did adapt. There were more women and more color in this. This is from 91. I also did shows across the country. This is one from the Calgary Stampede in Calgary. This is, what year is this one? This is 95. I'm not sure, I can't remember how many years we did. And this one is from 94. You know, I guess, oops. I guess I can take the blame for starting the show, but I can't take all the credit. There were a lot of people involved, from Eric and Dave from Toronto Compute, Shawnee, who was in Toronto Compute. I don't know if any of you have been around for that long in the industry. We also, in Montreal, we had Claude Thibault and Danielle, can't remember his name. We had also from in Vancouver, Jack Cook and Reed Ireland, also George Christopoulos, and the show manager originally, I believe, after year or so, was Mike Allen. Then Ryan came in after 91. Ryan was I had a place where we trained people on computer training, WordPerfect, and Lotus 1-2-3 and DBase 3, all these, and called Soft Train at Young and oh, this is Dufferin and Kiel. Oh, we had one at sorry, but this is Dufferin and Finch. We also had one at Young and Shetland, and she was a student there, and I was starting in 91 a kids show called Kids Fest, and she was you know, the main selling person who sold the show, and then after that she started working for Computer Fest. Also, there was Rima who worked at Computer Fest, and her brother Michelle, and Miles White. Do any of you remember the shows? Any of the people from there?
No, I don't know the people, George, but I remember the shows. I used to go to most of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gone to a bunch of them and would also read the computer paper and all those as well.
Okay.
It was very much a thing for me.
Miles White was the person who organized the seminars, and the Toronto Computers was the one that was involved mostly with the Toronto shows. Then we hooked up with Doug Alder and the computer paper in Vancouver, and they sponsored the other shows, and eventually they bought Toronto Computers. I know the show evolved as the industry evolved, and you know, we tried to keep up with the different trends. We also, the World of Commodore was happening at the same time frame, and they had like an exclusive on the International Center, so we couldn't get in. So we were creative, and that I found a location, National Sports on White's Road in Pickering. We did a show there. We found on Skyway Trade Conference Center by what used to be the Skyline at Dixon and area. Now it's the Delta Hotel. We did a show in there that was a fur auction place. Eventually, we were able to get into the CNE and the Arts Crafts building, and then we moved into the automotive building. And then after, I think the timing was different, and then World of Commodore was kind of, there was more space available. So we got into the International Center. So we used to do it twice a year in the International Center, twice a year at the automotive building in Toronto. We did Montreal once in the fall, once in the spring, Ottawa, Calgary, Vancouver. So we had, you know, a good run with it. The industry changed and it became, whereas the education was a big part of it, by offering the seminars and having all the clubs being involved and providing the free advice table. We had a lot of people who really didn't know, uh, who wanted to get into it, but needed some help. So that was a big help to us. Also, I guess having the clubs being part of it from the beginning was also a big help to the clubs because you can get more members and etc. But the industry changed, and we eventually, we saw what was happening in the States. I went to a lot of different shows this time. Then we changed our focus from Computer Fest to Super Computer Sale. We were still called Computer Fest, but our main headers changed to be Super Computer Sale because the Computer Fest isn't here, but the sale part was more pronounced as people wanted to get more deals. And also the Fridays, we used to do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and came up with the idea of allowing business people with a business card to come in free on the Friday. So we turned it around, and Friday became not our best day that we couldn't sell tickets, but it became the best day for the exhibitors. And if the exhibitors are happy and they sell enough product, then they would continue being exhibitors. But the whole industry, I guess, transitioned eventually to more online, and it became very competitive. We had a lot of companies in the PC field that were building machines like Graph or Altinet and different. After a while, there were no margins to really be able to stay in it. So that side petered out as the Dells and the laptops became so cheap. There were no margins for dealers really to stay in. We had a good run. We did our part, I guess, to advance the industry, and having definitely partnering with the clubs and the different training was a big part of our differentiation from the business shows that were, the big money. We were also the first people who made a booth all inclusive. If you paid us, I think beginning, the first price was $500. We provide you with the drape table and with shared power. So you could come in, and the 500 covered all your costs. You didn't have to pay anything additional. Now, if you tried to do a show, the table could cost you $100. Power is like 120. Now, we didn't supply telephone lines or anything, but it was good enough for everyone to really be able to afford and be open for business. The other thing we did is that all our ads were coupons, and we would get all those coupons, and I would personally count it for every single ad, every single publication. So we knew we would always drop the lowest ads that were not as effective as the other effective, and we tried something different, something new. We had posters that we had plastered all over the place, and we eventually went on to cable advertising, and then eventually onto an email list as well. There was a time where I guess we all benefited from having something that was down to earth, as opposed to being everything else was a business show. The big show that ITCS, the Canadian, what was it called? It was in November. Canadian Computer Show was a huge show that took the whole international center, but that was really for business and was very expensive for exhibitors to get in, etc. I transitioned from that into the book business, and sometimes we adapted to something that was in need. I had done shows in Vancouver, and one computer booksellers came up, and he did really well. So we had some, I think Jim Mulholland with PC Mania, then I started CompuBooks with George Christopoulos, and we supplied more up-to-date books. We tried to encourage, it was Agnes Zito from the Toronto Computer bookstores who had the latest books, but latest books were expensive. So we kind of fitted in between, but there was also deals. So people would come to really get the deals. As when it comes to computer books, I was just looking through some of the books I have, and I came across this Vic 20. This is another one. This is basic, and then this one I think is from '83. Also, this is for the drives. I know you had asked me before about have I had any posters, and I did find one, and I must have gone to this show in Philadelphia. This is a World of Commodore poster from 1988. So we all learned from everybody else. We took certain things that we thought we could adapt and make them work, and we tried. We weren't afraid of trying just about anything. I remember the time we had, there was a TTC strike, and we booked shuttle buses to go from someplace, and it didn't really affect us, but at least there was a reassurance for both the attendees and the vendors that we were, on their side as well. We were doing whatever we needed to do to be able to, help them out if there's certain situations. I'm still in the book business. I'm not from the CompuBooks. Oh, I should show you. This is one badge I have, and I covered the name because it is a TPUG. It's not my name, but I asked earlier if this person is still a member, and it is. This is from 2003. Oops.
What was the last year of Computer Fest?
Yeah, second last year.
So 2004 was the last year?
2005.
Does anybody know this gentleman? No?
Slightly, not well.
Okay. Well, this is almost 20 years ago, so I would, like even our memories, I started in 85, so I'm sure there's a lot of things, but every step of the way you build on your general experience and you try to adapt, but we were always tried to be down to earth and reasonably priced.
No, but see, also, George, your show is very unique in that it encompassed all types of computers, not just one platform.
Yes.
And I always had the fondest memories of looking into Toronto Compute to see when the next show was, and I did attend all the ones I think that are in the CNE and in the other place that you had,
International Center.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I used to, basically what I used to do is, in order to shop for deals or the latest technologies, you go from store to store. But your show had all the vendors basically from almost, I don't know, for sure all of Toronto, but also outside of Toronto that would be there. And you can basically buy from them, which was great. Like, I mean, that was like, it was almost like the World of Commodore. I used to go to that as well. but this encompassed more like platforms, more vendors, not just Commodore. And Commodore and Amiga were also in there. I still
Yes.
remember. But
Yeah, we had
they
we had ComSpec, we had video variables, smart screens.
yeah.
We had someone from Hamilton or St. Catharines. I can't remember the name.
Video variables or computer variables?
Well, they became computer variables.
I worked there.
Oh, you did?
I worked there and I worked the booth at your show
Oh, wow,
many
fantastic.
times.
I think they were in the first, what's her name, the lady, husband and
Janet?
wife? Janet, yes, Janet.
Yeah, I understand she's passed away.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I think the first program I showed you from 86, this is her picture right here.
Oh, come on, really? Oh, there's Janet.
What is it called here? Video variables or computer variables?
86, I don't know.
Video variables.
That's great.
We all transitioned. I mean, I was in the video business, video land, and I thought that the computer business would be bigger than the video. That the video was just entertainment, whereas computers would have more functionality. That's why I kind of also transitioned to that. So you were on off Laird and by the Leaside Arena, right?
No, that I was there after they moved to Bayview,
Oh, okay. All right.
and they were at Bayview in Millwood, right on Bayview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Is her husband still alive?
I don't know. I didn't really know him because he wasn't in the store by the time I was
Yeah.
working. I think that was a period of time that Joe had bought into their business, and I think it was Joe and Janet basically running the show.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, Joe was actually on our last call.
Yes, I was told that.
Yeah.
I know he set up some advertising sort of monitoring business on Wingold.
Yeah. On the old ComSpec building, he's now got it's some kind of it's a business that does online advertising reselling or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what they do.
Yeah.
It's a pure digital business. That building is now full of racks, and he just put in 3 generators in the back parking lot that are the size of my house.
Wow.
He's putting in a humongous data center in that building now.
I see. Are they mining Bitcoin as well?
I don't think so.
That's the next step. I guess that's where we all have shifted as well. Are any of you guys in the cryptocurrencies?
No.
No, we got into doing a grid bot trading, and we're involved in some. Right now, I'm involved with a company out of the UK called Afrostar as a moderator on Telegram, and they launched a token. They'll be launching a coin and other things, upcoming. I guess you have to evolve with the industries that are coming. Otherwise, we have to stay current whenever we can.
So George, if you don't mind me just telling you, at the Computer Fest shows, I worked there originally through computer variables, and then I became friendly with Ryan, who was your show manager,
right,
at the time, and then she eventually came and asked me to be one of the advisors on the table of experts.
Oh, great.
And I became a regular. I came to every show for years.
Yeah.
To take a half a day at the table of experts.
Well, we appreciated, having the experts, because I mean, a lot of people who were beginners needed to really, to be explained, to have someone hold their hand and give them some confidence, and that, like every new industry, it's the same thing. And,
8 out of 10 of the questions where people would come and sit down and say, yeah, I want to get a computer, but I have no idea what I should get.
Okay. Well, when I was in the video business, people would call me. I was in Videoland. We sold the Quasar VR machines and the Beta ones, then in JVC, then eventually the Panasonic and the RCA. And people would call about hooking something up. They would give you like a 2-minute explanation. The first question we would ask, did you turn the machine on? You would be surprised how many times People forgot to push that button to power the machine.
And then you have to turn the monitor on separately.
Well, that's,
Uh,
anyway, I guess, being, it never hurt anyone to be helpful and be, give as much information and be straightforward. And
But the real reason I went on the table of experts was for this.
okay.
You remember this?
Yes,
see
of
it?
course. Yes.
It's a transparent LCD clock.
Yes.
And, every time you went on the table of experts, Computer Fest had a little token gift like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this must have been from the earlier. This is this which one is this?
This doesn't have a date on it, this clock.
Yeah. No. Okay. But this is this graphic.
Hang on, I'm trying to look at the, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think this, if I had to guess, I'd say this is from 92.
Yeah, but this is this graphic. It doesn't have the colors, but it has the same shapes and so on it.
But this is like a lithograph, so there's no color in it, but you can see the shaded brown fellow there on the side.
Yeah,
So-
we eventually switched, I think, our logo to be, let me see if I had one here, where it didn't have any image, just a drawing on it. I don't see.
Oh, another fun story is, do you remember giving out a map book, a Pearlie's map book with the cover saying Computer Fest on it?
What year was that?
In the early 90s.
I see. I personally, honestly, I don't remember. But,
So
You have one?
It was a Pearlie's map book,
right,
and the Pearlie's cover was removed because it was just a spiral binder.
right,
And then there was a Computer Fest cover put on it.
right.
And I guess Ryan, if that's what part of her job was, that was one of the promotional items given out to volunteers. And my dad was friends with Gary Pearlie
Okay.
of Pearlie Maps. And I went there for some reason, I don't remember why, but I thought it'd be fun to bring it in and show him. And he got all upset because he said that somebody was using his product and changing it the cover without his permission. But
he should have been more upset that they didn't think of giving that out, selling it as a product to
I know,
Loblaws and
I know.
Canadian Tire and everybody else.
I mean, he wasn't like upset because he knew it was obviously some promoter was doing
Right.
it and then selling it to you, right? So
Yeah, it was good times.
mhm.
What do you? I see all the equipment in the background behind you. I think in our '86 show, which we had at the King Street West Antique Market, we had an antique computer auction. And
Really?
yeah, where is it? Can I?
What year was that?
In '86.
These computers were new in 86.
No, I mean, we were not. We had the original. I can't even remember some of the names. Some of the British smaller ones, Sinclair, and various things that we had, and it was quite interesting that see where the industry has come from.
Now, George, you said the King Street Antique Market. Is that like on King and John?
It used to be, I'm not sure exactly where on King Street, to be honest, but they were moved. Oh, no, sorry. This may have been at Harborfront, actually.
Oh, Harborfront. Oh.
I think, and they were moved. Yeah, at Queens Quay.
Queens Quay. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, that's where they were. Then they moved to King Street West. But I guess, in this first thing here, I guess we're trying to explain it, and I'll read it. It says the name sums it up. Computer as in microcomputers and fest as in festival. Together they should imply putting the fun back into computer shows. Computer Fest '86 has been organized as a reaction to trend we've seen over the past 2 years. the excitement of presenting the general public with computers and software that has been replaced by headlong rush to exploit the lucrative corporate and business market. While it's true that big businesses need computers and need people to supply them, some of us have been made to feel that as lowly home computer users or small businesses or hobbyists, our interests and problems have been neglected. And Computer Fest in '86 intended as a step towards remedying this. So that was the whole idea. We were trying to bring it down like to a level of the general user and uncomplicate the complicated. Any questions? Anything that?
Not a question, a comment. I was at the TPUG booth for move in, move out, and all day, every day for all your shows that were at the on the CNE, the automotive building, and before that, the Art and Crafts Center.
Yeah, arts and crafts, hobbies.
And I always had a good time.
Great.
Sometimes my kids came. My 5-year-old really enjoyed setting up the booth and plugging everything in.
How old is your 5-year-old now?
Oh, almost 40.
Okay. My kids used to come mostly for the ice cream.
Oh, okay. Well, Andrew came for the interacting with people, but also for setting up 3 or 4 computers and getting it right. And
Great. He was a little younger. My son is 30 and my daughter is 28. So he was a little older. I guess he was more into the computers. Yeah, and I think the one thing about the teardown, and we were really particular about that, and I know some people didn't like it because a lot of theft happens in shows at teardown. People are too busy taking stuff. So we made very specific. We had forms you had to sign. I don't know if that bothered you guys, but it did bother. It was a point of irritation with some people, but we had no choice. The last thing you want to know or you want to hear about an exhibitor leaving something, going to put something in the car, and they lose something that destroys their whole weekend.
Yeah.
They're just.
No, I understood the security. We had lost a couple of minor things, but nothing of significance because we were careful too.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing that helped that a bit, I used to have a small, well, I still have, it's out in the driveway, a small white trailer. It opened up like a clamshell or like a Big Mac hamburger container.
Right.
And it was called Little Mac, but it was light enough and small enough that for most of the shows, I just walked it right up to our booth, loaded stuff straight from the booth into the trailer, and then walked. It was a little harder going out because it was heavier, but walked it out, hooked it on the back of my car, and drove home, or drove to our storeroom. So that helped a lot with disappearances.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we got to the point we had to have security guards at night, and we would empty the aisles one section at a time. So you could stay if you're near the front, but when we emptied the back, everybody had to go out.
Yeah.
So that, no one is left behind. So you didn't have to leave until the people who were behind you left. And anyway, unfortunately, that's the risk in any of these shows. And but we did the best we could. And
you mentioned the computer paper a couple of times, or you and others. One of the things I need to do is find a new home for a dozen boxes containing almost every issue of the computer paper.
Yeah, I have to admit I am guilty. I gave 45,000 books to Salvation Army in the spring earlier this year from a store I have on Kennedy Road and a warehouse I have in I have probably still another 50 or more books, because I was in the books in a big way, not just computer books, because computer books we had moved a few times and we gave away a lot of stuff, but we still sell some computer books online. We still sell educational books, law books, things of that nature. I had a bookstore in Agincourt Mall for about 15 years, books and music. I had a couple of stores, and one in Cloverdale Mall, one is in Shops and Steels, one in Kipling and Queensway. But I did have quite a few magazines. We had, well, there was the Quebec magazine, and the what was it called, Micro? I can't remember, but yeah, I got to know Doug Alder quite well. He had the from Vancouver. I also had some Toronto computes. I have some Wii computes that Eric had started after he got bought out, and we changed the format to be a smaller format. I helped him, I guess, publish it for about another year, but it was tough to sell advertising at that point. There were less and less stores to sell advertising to. Hopefully, I mean, I got rid of some stuff, and probably, shouldn't have, because there's a lot of historical. If any of you guys would be interested in putting some photographs from Computer Fest online, I must have like a whole pile of photographs. Anybody has time or hobby just to scan them and put them online.
Hey, George, I would be interested in scanning them.
Okay.
Actually, I just wanted to bring up Ian. Maybe talk to Zbigniew, who is in the computer science department at York, and he's running the Canadian Computer Museum at York University. He might be interested in the newspapers, I'm guessing.
I've met him. I had not thought of talking to him, since I thought he only collected the computers, not the old computer papers. But yeah, I'll get in touch with him.
Okay.
Somewhere I have his email address, and
I'd appreciate if you let me know, because I have some Wii compute. I have some stuff like that he may also be interested in.
Let me dig that up now, and I'll put it into the chat.
Okay, great. Yeah, and if anybody else is seeing this afterwards, they can have it, and they can hopefully contact him as well.
And could you email it to me? I have to leave in 5 minutes for another meeting.
Yeah, I'll do both.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ian, you may want to talk to Josh too. He collects, I think, magazines, computer magazine.
Oh, okay, sure.
Talk to Josh from the team.
Ian, can you hear me?
Yes,
Ian?
Marlon.
Well, yeah, I have this book here. It's called Algorithms, and it's called Computer Algorithms. It's by three people. It's like a textbook, but I can't really understand it very well. But somebody of your knowledge should be able to understand it. I'm willing to sell it for $10. Would you interest?
Probably a good price. I'm not interested right now.
Oh, you're not interested?
I have way too many books. I can't read them all.
Oh, this is mainly mathematical computers things. You know what I mean?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So like they deal with trees and all sorts of things. Like
just post it on Facebook Marketplace or on Kijiji. You may find someone who may be interested.
Oh, okay. Or maybe I'll go on. I'll advertise it on Toronto CBM. That network. I'll do that. And whoever wants to buy it can. Well, actually, I was going to bring it to World of Commodore. If nobody's on Toronto CBM wants it, I'll bring it to World of Commodore and see if anybody wants it.
What year was it published, and who are the authors?
Oh, the authors are Ellis Horowitz, Sartaj Sani, and Sengu Thebar Rajasekaran.
And what year was it?
I think they're Indian people.
What year was it
It's only-
published?
Oh, what year? Hold on a sec. It's published. Let me think here. Let me check. Here we. Let me think. Let me check. Doesn't.
They'll have a
doesn't-
copyright notice somewhere.
Copyright 1998.
Oh, okay.
1998. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Oh,
thank you very much, guys. Was there anything, anything else you want to share or discuss? I don't have anything else more to say,
Oh.
I guess.
George, is one of the things, speaking of photos, is I recently tripped across an old VHS tape what happened was at the computer variables booth, we were demonstrating a Genlock, like a live feed, just having the live image run through an Amiga with some graphics on it.
Right.
And at one point at the show, I just thought it would be fun to hit record on the VHS tape because it was just for a live. We weren't going to record anything, but I now have that digitized, and it's about 35 minutes of the camera pointing at the entry door. If I had known, I would have picked up the camera and walked around the show a little bit, but that's not what was, you wasn't thinking about that. But it's about 35 minutes of the people entering the show, and there's no technology in the video, but it's just sort of the people and the atmosphere. It's like a little snapshot in time. Actually, it's pretty neat.
Wow. Yes.
Do you have that posted somewhere, Ben?
I don't. I was gonna, a while ago, I was gonna just do a little intro to it and then put it on my YouTube channel. I should do that now that we're talking about it.
I'm just wondering if it caught me walking in or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. You
It's
should
highly
post
likely that
Ben.
someone here on this call was in that video. I know
What-
I am.
what year-
'cause
what
I'm
year was
pasting.
that? What year was it? Ben?
I have it labeled as 1990, which makes sense because I was still in high school and I was working part-time. And one of the people who came to the show was my computer teacher from high school, and he's in the video.
Oh, okay. 1990. I probably was in the video because I used to go down it.
But it was only like a half an hour clip.
Well, if
So-
I'm lucky, maybe I'm in there.
You might be. I mean, I wouldn't want to just put it on YouTube because it would be like, what the hell is this? I'm just watching people walk around.
Yeah,
But if
I don't
I
mind.
introduce it as this is a little clip of history of the people that were, attending a computer show in Toronto in 1990.
Well, how big is the file digitized?
Hang on. I have it. It's
Look, can you even send it to me? Send it to me as a video.
it's 190 megabytes.
Yeah, I won't go through email.
Yeah, I've actually got it in Google Photos, so I can make a link.
Oh, okay.
What I really want to do is add a little title clip to it and then put it on YouTube before I start.
Okay.
That way.
Let us know when you share it because I'd like to see them.
Yeah, I think it'll be definitely before the winter's out. It'll be one of my cold day, nothing to do at home projects.
George, I've just sent you a link to the professor I was talking about. So it should be in your Zoom chat now.
Thank you.
Yes, I've got it. Thanks.
Okay.
I just send it to the rest of us and just put it on the regular line. And again, before you go, I've got about half a dozen lawyer training books ready to go out the door. My wife's been cleaning up. I don't dare. I could walk this machine into the other room and show you guys 2 rooms full of boxes up to the knees, sort of. My daughter's really doing a cleanup here, wanting to get rid of everything. We did take 1 load up to Waterloo University, but I've still got 1 each of every kind of Commodore ever made, and boxes and boxes of books and manuals and discs and discs and discs. Just to let everybody know. But Ian, give me a call sometime when you're out this way. You can pick up those about half a dozen train ones I set aside.
Yeah, I sure will. I'll be in touch with you soon,
Yeah. Okay.
sometime in the next week.
Sure. Fine.
Good to see you again. Anyway, bye, everybody.
Bye.
I'm gonna be gone
Right.
Okay.
Take it easy.
regretfully, but
Thank you very much for listening to our story. And,
Bye, Ian.
Thank you, George, for being a guest on on TPUG here. We really appreciate giving us sort of image and memory and time that everybody I think has in common here, because like I said, I went I guess most of your shows where I was able to go. And when I had the money to actually go there and spend the money at the shows.
You know what it was? Is Computer Fest was the place to get the deals.
Yeah.
And working there, I know what happened is Computer Variables' plan was at every Computer Fest show, we emptied the entire store, almost, except for the latest, most expensive things, but all of the box software, all the accessories, any computer that was like 6 months old, demo computers, and we bring them all down to Computer Fest, and we sell them. Sorry,
you wanted to get rid of it, sure.
Yeah, we sold them at pretty much cost, pretty close to cost, and it was Joe's way and Janet's way of purging the store so that they could bring the new stuff in, but they didn't want to discount at the store because they wanted to be sell it full retail in the store. So it was a perfect outlet for that. And the other thing about, you were talking about exiting the store, you probably like the story, is that Joe's deal with the staff, probably about 6 or 8 of us there, he said if we could get the booth emptied into the truck and get the truck back to the store and get the store set up to be open on Monday morning, all done. So Monday morning was just open for normal business, no more setup. If we could get that done by a certain time, maybe it was 7:30 or whatever, when the I guess Sunday ended at 5 or whatever, that he would take us all for dinner. And every time we had that opportunity, we did it. And we always went to Astoria on Danforth. The whole staff would go to Astoria for dinner after every show.
The advantage of you bringing the stuff and selling it at cost and getting those customers who buy from you at the show will come to the store because they will remember they got a great deal from you, and they'll come to the store. They will trust. They build a connection with the vendor. So that was pretty smart. It wasn't, even he didn't make any money on it. You do in the long term.
Yeah. No, I think he broke. I remember him telling me that he broke even on the shows. He was happy to do that, but it gave the store. Otherwise, software titles in boxes and accessories would get old in the store and get covered in dust.
Yes.
So it was a great system. Are you going to come visit us at World of Commodore?
Yeah, I only found out today that you have them on. When is the next one?
December 4th, right, guys?
December 4th, and we'll be doing both online and in person. And it'll be at the Admiral Inn. So check out tpug.ca for details.
Admiral Inn is in where? Where is the Admiral Inn?
Mississauga.
Yeah.
It's right at the QEW and
I think it's on South Sheridan Way Road.
Aaron Mills Parkway.
Oh, it's in Mississauga. It's in Mississauga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at.
And what is the date again?
December 4th.
December.
Are we doing the 5th too?
We haven't decided yet. Right now, I don't know.
December 4th is where all the action is, though.
I need to know.
I will donate this as well to you guys.
Oh,
and you can just cover the where it was.
That's awesome.
That would rock.
I said
Thanks a lot.
I don't remember the show that well in Philadelphia, but I went to a lot of shows, and I think we may have brought this back to try to duplicate it. I think Hunt Group had Commodore who were paying them lots of money, whereas we did everything out of pocket, so that we couldn't produce these kind of posters.
Is that going to make a good raffle prize, guys?
Hey, why not?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Keep it.
Yes, please. Raffle, please.
Simon, I nominate you to manage that.
Well, that's Ian's job.
George, at the World of Commodore, there's usually a raffle table with different items, and you buy tickets, and then you stick your tickets into the bin of the item you want to win, and it's just a bit of a fundraiser for TPUG, right? So
Ian is not going to be attending physically this year, He messaged us earlier in the week. So Ian, can I say, sorry, Simon, would you like to volunteer? Say yes.
Well, I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it this year, and
Tentative yes?
what? A yes? No, I said no.
I know, tentative yes.
Yeah, okay.
Do
If
you,
you show
you
up,
guys,
you
do you use this kind of tags for?
no, nothing like that.
Similar, but yeah, we use tags,
Similar.
right?
Actually, I just got the box delivered to me yesterday, but I haven't had time to open it. Thanks for work.
Because I have quite a few of this type of thing. If you want, I can give you a few boxes.
So,
That would be great.
Okay,
It's awesome.
thank you.
you're very welcome. Thank you very much for listening. And
Thank
I'm not
you.
sure. I'm not sure I may have met all of you at some point or the other, but it's been a long time.
Thank you, George. Appreciate you coming and speaking about the Computer Fest to us.
Yeah,
You're
definitely. Thank you.
welcome. You're very welcome.
Thank you, George.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for all the work that you've done over the years, even though I wasn't able to be there. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, hopefully you'll
Good to
be
see you
able
again,
to see
George.
the photos. If
Yes.
Simon, you're willing to put the photos up somewhere.
Yeah, I can.
I'm
can
looking
meet
forward
up
to
with
helping
you,
if I
George.
can.
George, I'll meet up with you and pick up whatever you want to give to TPUG and the photos. Do you want them back? I'll scan them. It shouldn't take me that long to scan them. And do you want them back or you don't care about them?
Well, as long as they're somewhere. I mean, if they're listed somewhere. No, I don't really need them back.
Okay, yeah, I'll scan all of them. I don't
How
have a
many
problem
photos?
scanning.
How many
I
photos are you
actually-
talking about?
I still own the computerfest.ca name.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. If you guys can use it, I don't mind too.
Maybe you can restart computerfest.ca.
I think crypto.ca will do better these days.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, the one thing that the computers, and like the cannabis, now the crypto, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of interest, and that's just what the trends are. That but definitely you've got to keep evolving and moving on with what's out there.
So, George, what I would say is Computer Fest back in the day was Amazon. I compare it to Amazon as it is right now because you had, like I said, a Computer Fest, right? You
Yes.
had all the vendors, like a variety of computers, not just one particular platform, like Commodore. You had all of them there, and you
Yes.
got the deals, and you got the consulting tables. You had everything, and that's what we like. That's what I liked about it.
We had exhibitors come from Montreal,
Yeah.
from Cleveland, from some US exhibitors. I can't remember what some of the others were, but from all over the place. And they did well. I think we kept the cost low, and we tried our best to get as many people out and try to compromise. And like I said, the business day became our big day. We actually had Zig Ziglar come to speak at one of the shows one year.
Oh,
We paid some, just try to attract the business crowd or do different things. And anyway,
how many photos do you have?
thank you very much. I'll have a great evening, and I'll connect with you, Simon, soon.
Sure. Thank you very much. Have a good
Okay.
night, George.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening.
Have a good evening. Thank you. Bye.
Stay well, George. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All of you stay well and safe
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you too.
in
Cheers.
these crazy times.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye, George.
Bye.
So I'm going to stop the YouTube stream. Then we can just shoot the ball.
Thank you, Anil.
Nope, hold on, that's not that.
Keith, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
If anybody's
Totally.
interested in helping me clean out some of this old equipment, I could just walk this machine into the other room and give you guys an idea of what I'm up against here when I wake up in the mornings.
Sure, John, go ahead.
I'll just pick it up, undo the power here, walk it into the other room, and there.
Hey, John, give me a call after everybody else is taking their pick of whatever. I'll take whatever's left.
Who's that? Oh, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe's on the call?
Don't throw anything
Joe
out.
is
Call
on
me.
the
Call me
call.
last. I'll come.
Joe's
get
on the
whatever's
call?
left.
Don't throw anything. Well,
Of
I'll
course,
just
I'm on the
walk
call. We
along.
got World Commodore coming up. I gotta get
I'll
my
just-
info here.
Welcome back, Joe.
Hey,
Welcome
John.
back.
Joe's alive.
Joe, great on the replies for those emails from 3 months
It's
ago.
alive. It's alive.
Yeah, you saw those last night.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
I'm caught up to November 3, I think, right now.
You caught up to World of Commodore from last year.
Joe, I got your disc.
Those disc. Don't touch. Very important.
Nice.
I
Awesome.
should- I should warn everybody, I can't seem to stop the video stream. So you've been warned.
So this is live, it's still live streaming
No
on YouTube.
podcasting. Yep.
No
Keep it
worries.
PG, guys. Keep it PG.
Well, you can do whatever you want. I just, it's evidence later is all I'm gonna say.
Nice. Right on. Thanks.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, anybody notice that I got a mustache?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
did.
did. You're going with the whole Movember thing, eh?
Yeah, Movember.
Oh.
Is everybody familiar with Movember?
Oh, yeah.
I think Simon's got a head start on me.
Nice.
I
Well,
always got
hopefully it's
it.
going. Hopefully it's going to the right cause. So
I
Yeah,
just
it's,
hate shaving.
It's a men's health cause. Anything to do with men's illnesses, cancer, men oriented cancer. It's just a men's like health awareness month and fundraiser.
yeah, apparently today is International Men's Day. According to my calendar, I had that in my calendar somehow. It's a reminder today. So happy International Men's Day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Holy mackerel.
Hey, Joe, are you good at assembling computers?
Assembling computers? No, I'm good at assembling
Assembling-
Commodores.
assembling computers, like like putting them together. Are you any
I
good
only
at
deal
that?
with the Commodore. That's it.
Well, I was talking about the C256 Phoenix.
Never heard of it.
No,
Oh, that's the one from, what's that lady from Quebec mentioned in
Stephanie.
2018, isn't it?
Stephanie.
Or something?
Yeah, Stephanie Allaire.
Yeah, that actually, hang on, I have to talk here. I'll copy into the chat, but I just happen to have her talk in front of me right now.
Oh,
Hang on. I'll copy into the chat. So if anybody wants to watch in the background, you're welcome to do so.